Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your pain, and nobody is coming to save you. Life doesn't stop because you're hurt. It doesn't pause because you're tired. And it doesn't hand success to those who sit around drowning in self-pity. The world rewards action, discipline, and relentless courage, not tears and complaints. You think people are looking at you with sympathy, but in reality, they're moving forward while you stay behind. Every second you spend feeling sorry for yourself is another second wasted, another opportunity missed, another chance for someone else to take what should have been yours. Your struggles don't make you unique, they make you human. What separates the strong from the weak is not what happens to them, but how they respond. You can either remain trapped in the cycle of why me, or you can stand up, clench your fists, and declare, try me. That's the only choice you really have. Stop drowning in weakness, start building your armor, and face the battlefield of life like a warrior who refuses to bow. Self-pity is one of the most dangerous habits a person can ever fall into because it disguises itself as comfort while secretly destroying your future. When you sit in your room replaying everything that went wrong, when you dwell on the unfairness of life, when you constantly remind yourself of how hard things are for you compared to others, what you're really doing is wasting the most valuable thing you own, your time. Time is the one currency that you can never earn back, and every second you spend drowning in self-pity is a second you could have invested in growth, learning, action, or building the life you claim to want. Progress doesn't happen by accident, it happens through consistent effort. But self-pity paralyzes effort. It convinces you that trying is pointless because the world is against you. It makes you believe that you're special in your suffering, and it pushes you deeper into a mindset of helplessness. The truth is harsh but liberating. Nobody cares about your excuses. The world will not pause because you feel broken. Opportunities will not wait for you to heal. Life keeps moving forward whether you do or not, and if you choose to remain stuck in the quicksand of self-pity, you'll only watch others pass you by while you sink deeper. When you allow self-pity to dominate your thoughts, you train your mind to look for reasons why you can't instead of ways you can. You waste entire days comparing yourself to others, resenting their success, and telling yourself that they had it easier, when in reality, the only difference is that they kept moving while you kept sulking. Every great achiever in history faced setbacks, pain, betrayal, and failure, but they refused to sit there and cry about it. They turned that pain into fuel. They turned rejection into redirection. They understood that the longer they stayed in a place of self-pity, the more progress they would lose, and they refused to let weakness dictate their lives. Meanwhile, the person who indulges in self-pity convinces themselves they're being realistic, when in fact they're sabotaging their own progress with excuses. The energy you pour into pity could be the energy you pour into learning a skill, fixing your mistakes, strengthening your body, or creating opportunities. Instead, you're digging your own grave of mediocrity and lying in it willingly. The cruel part is that self-pity feels comfortable. It feels like the world owes you something because you've suffered, and for a moment, it might even feel good to sit in that victim mindset. But comfort is a silent killer. Comfort keeps you weak, keeps you dependent, and keeps you exactly where you are. Progress is never born in comfort. Progress is born in discomfort, in sweat, in discipline, in sacrifice. While self-pity numbs you temporarily, it steals from you permanently. The time you lost to pity doesn't come back. The chances you ignored don't return. The doors you failed to walk through close forever. Every day you choose to feel sorry for yourself, you delay your own future and give your dreams away to someone else who decided to be stronger. Ask yourself honestly, how many hours, how many days, how many years have you wasted being stuck in that victim mentality? Or think of what you could have built by now if you had refused to waste your energy crying over the past. Think of the money, the strength, the opportunities, the respect you could have earned if you had invested all that emotional energy into action instead of pity. Every time you complain about your situation, you push your progress further away. Every time you replay your failures in your head, instead of working on your comeback, you hand victory over to someone else. Every time you stay still while life moves forward, you fall further behind. The brutal truth is that no one is coming to rescue you from self-pity but yourself. People might encourage you. They might give advice. They might even try to pull you out. But at the end of the day, if you don't stand up, you remain where you are. Success requires responsibility. Responsibility means admitting that even though what happened to you might not have been your fault, it is absolutely your responsibility to rise from it. Self-pity loves to whisper that you're entitled to sympathy, but sympathy doesn't build strength. Sympathy doesn't pay your bills. Sympathy doesn't make your body healthy, your mind sharp, or your dreams real. Progress does. And progress is impossible when you're stuck in a cycle of excuses. The people you admire, the ones who have what you want, didn't get there because life was easier for them. They got there because they refused to sit down and waste time on self-pity. They suffered, they fell, they bled, but they used every second of pain as fuel. They refused to let the clock run out while they cried. They understood that life doesn't care about feelings, it rewards discipline. And if you want to change your life, you must adopt the same mindset. You must tell yourself that no matter how unfair things are, no matter how heavy the burden feels, you will not sit in the dark and wait for someone to feel sorry for you. You will use every second to fight, to build, to grow, and to move forward. Because the reality is simple, self-pity steals time, and time lost is progress gone forever. The moment you stop wasting energy feeling sorry for yourself and start investing it into action is the moment your life begins to transform. Strength is not what you say, it's what you do. Words are easy. Anyone can speak them. Anyone can promise. Anyone can post on social media about how hard they work, how disciplined they are, how much they want success. Talking costs nothing. And that's why weak people love it. They talk about their plans. They talk about their dreams. They talk about how much they've been through. But when the time comes to prove themselves with action, they disappear. Words are empty unless they're backed with execution. The real proof of who you are is written in your actions, not in your speeches. If you say you want to be great, but you spend your nights scrolling, partying, or sleeping in, then your actions expose you as weak. If you claim to want change, but you do nothing different today than you did yesterday, your actions prove you don't truly want it. Strength isn't spoken, it's shown. The strongest people don't need to announce their toughness because it radiates through their discipline, their consistency, and their results. You know strength when you see it because it doesn't ask for recognition. It demands respect through undeniable proof. A fighter doesn't prove his power by talking in the locker room. He proves it when the cage door shuts and fists start flying. A leader doesn't prove strength by making speeches about responsibility. He proves it by carrying the weight that others can't. Strength is built in silence and revealed through performance. If you have to convince people you're strong, you're not strong yet, you're just loud. The louder you have to be about your goals, the less you're probably doing to achieve them. The difference between the weak and the strong lies in follow-through. Weak people live in words. They live in someday. They live in, I'll start tomorrow. They say, I'm going to change my life, yet their daily actions contradict everything they speak. Strong people live in execution. They don't waste time explaining themselves. They don't broadcast every small effort. They move quietly and let results announce them. This is why discipline is the true measurement of strength. Anyone can hype themselves up for a day or two, but strength is shown when you keep showing up after the excitement fades. It's proven when you wake up at 5 a.m. day after day while others sleep. It's proven when you push yourself through pain, when you keep building while others quit. Strength isn't flashy. It's repetitive, it's boring, it's relentless. Action also exposes liars. You can't fake consistent effort. You can pretend for a short time, but your actions or lack of them will always tell the truth. If someone says they want to be wealthy, but their actions show laziness, they're lying to themselves. If someone says they want to be fit, but their actions show excuses, they're lying. Words can deceive others, but actions always reveal the truth. That's why people respect doers more than talkers. You may not be the loudest in the room, but if you're the one who acts, who executes, who delivers results, people will know your strength without you saying a word. Strength is also about how you act when it's difficult, not when it's easy. Anyone can act strong when things are going well. The real test comes when everything goes against you, when life punches you in the face, when you're tired, broke, or betrayed. Words don't mean anything in those moments. Action is the only proof of your strength. Do you keep going or do you fold? Do you keep grinding when nobody claps for you? Do you stay disciplined when nobody is watching? That's where strength is proven. When it's just you, your choices, and your willpower. The truth is that most people never make it because they confuse talking about goals with working toward them. They confuse dreaming with doing. They live in fantasy and wonder why nothing changes. Life doesn't reward people for speaking. It rewards people for acting. You can spend a lifetime telling the world who you think you are, but if you don't act, the world will never see you as that person. What matters is not what you say about yourself, but what you prove through your actions every single day. If you want to be seen as strong, stop telling people and start showing them. Let your discipline speak. Let your progress speak. Let your results speak. Be the kind of person whose presence itself carries weight because your actions have already proven you. Stop seeking validation through words and earn respect through undeniable consistency. In the end, nobody remembers what you said you would do. They remember what you actually did. They remember how you acted when it mattered. Strength doesn't live in your mouth. It lives in your habits, your sacrifices, your ability to push through pain, and your refusal to quit. So stop talking about how strong you are and prove it every single day, because strength is never proven by words, only by action. Every single person on this planet struggles. Pain is not unique to you. Hardship is not a special curse placed on. Your shoulders and obstacles are not designed only for your life. Struggle is universal. Everyone suffers. Everyone experiences loss. Everyone faces betrayal. Everyone knows what it feels like to fail. What separates one person from another is not whether they face struggles, but how they choose to respond to them. Destiny is not written in the struggle itself. It is written in your reaction. You can let pain break you, or you can let pain build you. You can allow setbacks to trap you in self-pity, or you can use them as fuel to push further. The struggle is the same language of life that everyone understands, but the way you interpret it defines where you end up. Look at the world closely, and you will see the truth. Two people can experience the same event, the same pain, the same betrayal, yet they create entirely different outcomes. One person allows it to crush them, to make them bitter, to justify quitting. The other takes that exact same hardship and transforms it into motivation, into discipline, into unbreakable strength. This is why destiny is not luck, it is choice. Struggle is given to everyone, but victory is given only to those who respond with action, resilience, and determination. Think about it. Every hero, every champion, every successful person you admire has a story filled with obstacles, rejection, and suffering. Their greatness did not come in spite of struggle, it came because of it. They refused to let pain dictate their end. They understood that pain was not a stop sign, but a test, and they responded with fire. The problem is, most people believe they are alone in their suffering. They tell themselves nobody understands, nobody has been through what they've been through. That lie is what keeps them weak. When you convince yourself your struggle is unique, you justify staying broken. But when you realize everyone struggles, you stop feeling sorry for yourself and start asking a better question. How will I respond? Will I let this destroy me, or will I turn it into the foundation of my strength? The truth is brutal but liberating. Your struggle does not make you special. Your response does. Think of all the excuses people make. I had a bad childhood. Many people did, and some of them used it as the fire that drove them to build extraordinary lives. I don't have opportunities. Neither did millions of others who refused to quit until they created their own. I failed too many times. Everyone fails. But failure is not the end. It's only the teacher that separates the ones who keep going from the ones who surrender. Destiny is not built by avoiding pain. It is built by enduring it and refusing to stop. Your scars can either be symbols of your defeat or reminders of your strength. It all depends on how you respond. Struggle has a purpose. It's the world's way of testing whether you're serious about your dreams. It's a filter that separates pretenders from warriors. Everyone says they want success, but the moment struggle arrives, most run away. The few who stay, the few who take the punches and keep moving forward, are the ones who write their destiny. Struggle is universal, yes, but victory is rare because most people bow before the weight of adversity instead of lifting it. The ones who carry it, the ones who keep pushing under its pressure, are the ones who rise. You can't control the struggle, but you can always control your response. You cannot stop life from hitting you, but you can decide whether you will hit back. You cannot stop loss, heartbreak, failure, or betrayal from coming, but you can choose. Whether you will let it chain you to misery or forge you into something unbreakable, the choice is always yours. And that choice determines your future. When you look back at your life years from now, it won't be the struggles that define your story. Everyone has those. What will define you is how you stood in the face of them. Did you fold when it hurt, or did you rise when it mattered? Did you drown in weakness, or did you fight until you carved a new path? Your destiny is not written by what happened to you, but by what you did next. Struggles are universal, but responses, those are personal, those are powerful, and those shape the legacy you leave behind. Excuses are the fuel that keeps weakness alive. Every time you justify why you didn't act, why you didn't give your best, why you didn't push harder, you're feeding the very thing that keeps you small. Weakness doesn't grow on its own. It grows because you give it food in the form of excuses. You say you don't have enough time, but you waste hours scrolling, talking, and complaining. You say you don't have the resources, but you never use the resources you already have. You say you're too tired, but you never question why you have the energy to play, party, or gossip, yet not enough energy to build your future. Excuses are lies dressed up as reasons, and the more you repeat them, the more they chain you to mediocrity. Weakness loves excuses because excuses protect it from being exposed. They allow you to stay comfortable, to avoid the pain of discipline, to avoid the shame of facing yourself honestly. Excuses are nothing but permission slips for failure. The more you make them, the weaker you become. People say, "I'll start tomorrow." That's an excuse. Tomorrow turns into next week turns into next year, and soon a lifetime has passed, wasted on waiting. Others say, "It's not the right time. There is no right time. There is only now." The person who waits for the perfect moment is the person who never acts. Weakness is built in delay, and excuses are the bricks. Excuses also feed weakness because they shift responsibility away from you. You blame your boss, your parents, the system, your past, the economy, anything except yourself. And while you're busy pointing fingers, your weakness grows stronger because it knows you won't fight it. Responsibility is the death of excuses. And responsibility is also the birth of strength. The moment you stop blaming and start owning your situation is the moment you begin to kill weakness. But as long as you keep saying, "I can't because of this," or "I can't because of that," you're handing your power away. Excuses disarm you. They turn you into a victim, and victims never win. Think about it. Every person who has ever achieved greatness had reasons to quit. They had obstacles, they had struggles, they had failures, they had excuses ready at hand. But they chose not to use them. That's why they won. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that one had no excuses and the other did. It's that one refused to feed their weakness while the other let their weakness grow fat off endless justifications. Excuses are easy. Action is hard. Weak people take the easy path. Strong people take the hard path. And the hard path is the only one that leads anywhere worth going. Every excuse you make also rewires your brain to accept weakness as normal. The more you say, "I can't," the more you believe it. The more you say, "I'll try later," the more your mind learns that procrastination is acceptable. Before you know it, weakness becomes your identity, not just your habit. You start to see yourself as someone who is always behind, always struggling, always losing. And the truth is, you built that reality with your excuses. You chose to feed weakness until it became who you are. But the opposite is also true. When you kill excuses and choose action, you feed strength instead. Every time you refuse to make an excuse and do what needs to be done, you grow stronger. The choice is always there: feed weakness or feed strength. Excuses also waste the one resource you can never get back: time. You don't realize that every excuse costs you a piece of your future. Every time you say, "I can't today," you've lost a day. Every time you say, "I'll start later," you've lost momentum. Every time you say, "It's too hard," you've lost an opportunity to grow. Weakness thrives on stolen time, and excuses are the thief's mask. By the time you wake up to what you've lost, the damage is done. The strongest people are not those who had it easy, but those who refuse to let excuses rob them of their time. You can lie to the world with excuses, and some people will believe you. They'll nod their heads, they'll sympathize, they'll tell you it's understandable, but you cannot lie to yourself. Deep down, you know the truth. You know the real reason you didn't act, the real reason you quit. the real reason you never move forward. That truth eats away at you because you know weakness is winning inside you. The only way to silence that voice is not with more excuses, but with action. Do what you said you couldn't do. Start when you said it wasn't the right time. Push through when you said it was too hard. That's how you break the cycle. At the end of your life, nobody will care about your excuses. The world won't remember why you didn't make it. It will only remember that you didn't. Excuses vanish, but results last forever. Strength leaves a legacy. Weakness leaves regret. And excuses are the bridge between weakness and regret. Every time you choose them, you're walking away from the life you could have had. If you want to be strong, if you want to change, if you want to win, stop feeding your weakness with excuses. Starve it, deny it, or kill it, and feed your strength instead with action, discipline, sacrifice, and consistency. Because excuses only feed weakness, and weakness will never give you the life you dream about. Victory does not belong to the smartest, the richest, the most talented, or the most privileged. Victory belongs to the ones who refuse to quit. The world is full of brilliant people who gave up, strong people who stopped, pushing and gifted people who surrendered when things got hard. Their potential is buried in the graveyard of excuses. Meanwhile, the ones who kept going, the ones who took punch after punch but stayed on their feet, the ones who dragged themselves forward when their bodies screamed to stop, those are the ones who reach victory. Life does not hand rewards to those who almost made it. It crowns those who cross the finish line no matter how broken, tired, or wounded they are. Refusing to quit is the ultimate weapon because persistence always outlasts difficulty. When you refuse to quit, you turn yourself into a force that cannot be defeated. Obstacles might slow you down, setbacks might knock you off track, failures might sting, but as long as you get back up, the fight is never over. Quitting is the only true defeat. Every loss, every mistake, every rejection is temporary until you decide to stop trying. That's why persistence is stronger than talent. Talent fades if it isn't used. Luck runs out, but a person who refuses to quit will always find a way to win. Victory is inevitable for the one who won't surrender because life eventually yields to relentless pressure. History is proof. Every great inventor, every world champion, every leader who changed the course of time had thousands of reasons to quit. They were doubted, laughed at, betrayed, beaten down, and told it was impossible. Yet they refused to listen. They refused to quit. And because of that, their names are remembered. Their struggles are forgotten. Their failures are overlooked, and all that remains is their victory. Nobody talks about how many times they fell. They only talk about the fact that they stood up one more time than they fell. That's all victory demands. One more try, one more push, one more refusal to surrender. The problem is most people quit too early. They stop just before the breakthrough, just before the opportunity, just before the tide turns in their favor. They let frustration convince them that the pain isn't worth it, that the effort is wasted, that maybe they aren't meant for more. But the truth is, the pain is the price. The struggle is the test. Victory is on the other side of resistance. And most people never reach it because they lay down in the middle of the fight. They forget that the ones who keep swinging long after everyone else has dropped their gloves are the ones who win. Refusing to quit doesn't mean you won't suffer. It doesn't mean you won't fail. It doesn't mean you won't doubt yourself. It means you endure all of that and keep moving anyway. It means when your mind screams to stop, you tell it to be quiet and take another step. It means when the world turns its back on you, you keep going forward alone. It means you understand that victory is not handed out to the convenient or the comfortable. It's earned by those who refuse to break. Victory tastes sweeter precisely because of the struggle it took to achieve. The nights of exhaustion, the mornings of doubt, the years of relentless work all make the moment of triumph worth everything. Quitting steals that from you. Quitting leaves you with nothing but regret. You'll never know how close you were, how much more you could have endured, how much more you could have become, and that regret will eat at you forever. But refusing to quit ensures that one day, no matter how long it takes, victory will be yours. Your life will not be defined by the times you failed. It will be defined by the times you got back up. Everyone falls. Everyone suffers defeat, but not everyone gets up again. The ones who do are the ones who rise above the rest. They understand that victory doesn't come to the perfect, it comes to the persistent. You don't need to be flawless, you just need to be relentless. So when you feel like quitting, when the weight feels unbearable, when the struggle seems endless, Remind yourself that victory belongs only to those who refuse to stop. The pain is temporary, the struggle is temporary, but the reward is permanent. The only way you lose is if you quit. As long as you're still in the fight, as long as you keep standing back up, as long as you refuse to surrender, victory is only a matter of time. Victory is not about who starts the fastest, who looks the strongest, or who talks the loudest. Victory belongs to the one who refuses to quit when everything inside screams to stop. It belongs to the one who stumbles but still rises, who bleeds but still fights, who faces defeat but still moves forward. Life will try to break you, but every time you stand back up, you prove you are stronger than the storm. That's what separates winners from the rest. Not the absence of struggle, but the refusal to surrender. Quitting guarantees failure, but persistence guarantees progress, and progress always leads to triumph. One day, all your pain, sweat, and tears will turn into the strength that carries you across the finish line. And when you look back, you won't remember the nights you almost quit. You'll remember the moment you refused to. That will be the moment that defines you forever. So burn this truth into your heart. As long as you keep going, as long as you keep fighting, as long as you refuse to quit, victory is already yours. Keep moving forward because destiny always bows to the relentless.